Hello, everyone. What is up? It's me bringing you part two of the story of my emigration to lovely China. So, last episode, I just caught everybody up on what happened throughout the year and the visa application process, and now I wanted to talk about the flight, the journey over. It was probably, well, at least for me, it was the worst trip I've ever been on, and I'll tell you why. There's lots of things. Um, so I luckily I got the ticket pretty cheap. It was only like 560 total to fly from, well, one way of course, but to fly from Omaha all the way to China, to Fuzhou, a city called Fuzhou. And the main problem in finding a ticket was there were a lot of layovers that were like 18 hours. So, there was like one with a layover in Seattle for like 18 hours. There was one with a layover in Shanghai or Hong Kong for like 16 hours. And I didn't want to do that. I was trying to avoid that. So, I didn't have to spend money on a hotel and stuff. So I ended up finding a ticket and it was pretty good. I would go from Omaha to LA, have a 6 hour layover in LA, which sucks but is okay. And then an overnight flight, 14, 15 hours to Hong Kong, and then and then an hour layover in Hong Kong, and then fly over to Fuzhou. So that was the plan originally. And, so it started going well. I got to the airport. My flight left at like 3:40 on a Sunday afternoon. So I go to Omaha. I get dropped. I say bye to everybody. Wrap up my things. Go over to Omaha at like 2. Chill, read. I brought a bunch of books and stuff for the flight. Digital, of course, not that paper shit. Um, so chilled. My flight took off. It was like a 3 hour, I think about 3 or 4 hour flight to LA, and that was fine. We got to LA in about 5:30 local time, 5:36 local time, and then I had 6 hours to kill. So I just chilled. I got something to eat, and then I just kind of chilled and read and did things. And then so we leave at midnight, and it's coming up on midnight. So I make my way over to the gate, and I change out all my money because this is it. I'm going to China, so I go to the exchange place, which probably was a mistake in the long run because I think they don't give you the full conversion because I'm pretty sure I got a lot less than I was supposed to get. But anyway, whatever. So I go change out all my remaining U.S. cash, and we're getting ready to board. Or we're getting ready, and it's coming up on time. Coming up on time. They haven't started anything yet, and everybody's kind of like getting like it's like 10 minutes before we board, and then it's like 10 minutes after we're supposed to board, and people are getting nervous looking around, and it's mostly like Chinese people, Asian people. There were like 4 Westerners on the flight, so everybody's gonna get nervous, and then eventually it's like 12:10, and people are up at the desk asking and stuff, and they're like, we'll let you know, we don't have a crew right now. Like our crew's not here. We don't have a pilot. We don't have a crew. And then all of a sudden, after a while of this, they put a new time up on the board, and they announced that our flight will take off at 12 p.m. tomorrow. So everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And I didn't really like get angry or react crazy because I don't know. I guess there was nothing I could do. It was out of my control. So I just kind of rolled with it. I was a little, perturbed, but so people are like, "What?" Like, and like they're like going crazy. And there's translators, and people are like, they're trying the airplane or the airport staff are like, we're trying to give out hotels, but we only have a certain number of hotels we can give out. If you can find a hotel yourself and book it, then you can we can reimburse you up to $200. So people are scrambling to get hotels, find hotels. I guess what had happened was so it was the stupid basketball all-star weekend all-star weekend thing. So there were a bunch of people from coming in and coming out for that. And then there was a problem with the wind, like the weather wasn't like the way it got really windy, I guess. And I apparently if I was overhearing the desk lady talk to somebody else, if the pilots get a certain amount of turnaround time, like once they get into a place, they get like a couple hours or something to get ready for the next flight. And if they can't, like if they don't feel like they're ready or they don't have enough time to get ready, they can just say no, I'm not flying. And basically the union will back them, so they can't really get in trouble. So that's what happened to us. Like I guess they didn't have enough time to get in, or it wasn't ready in time because of the weather. So they're just like, no, we'll go tomorrow. I'm not flying tonight. And so that's what happened. So got to had to get my stuff rebooked, and the main problem was, oh, and this was another reason why I chose this flight, is that I had to get to the Fuzhou airport before 9 p.m. because I don't work in Fuzhou. I work in a place called Fuan, which is a 3 hour bus ride from Fuzhou, and the airport buses stop at like 9 p.m. So I had to you know get everything. I had to get into Fuzhou before 9 p.m. and be able to get on the bus to go. Otherwise, again, I have to stay at a hotel or something. And so that's another reason why I chose this ticket, this flight. But then, of course, getting rebooked, my flight's rebooked, that screwed up everything. So they couldn't get me into Fuzhou at the time I wanted. So basically, I said, well, if this is the best you can do, then I got to take that. I was gonna get into Fuzhou at like 11 p.m. And so I was calling, or I was talking, emailing my liaison. I was like, everything got fucked up. Of course, I didn't say that, but it's like everything got fucked up. I can't get my flights all rearranged. Here are the new flights. I can't get into Fuzhou in time for the bus, because she was gonna come down, like because I'm new and I don't know where to go. She's gonna come 3 hours down to Fuzhou, help me get on the bus, and then ride 3 hours back. So she had a 6 hour thing she had to make, and she had to know when I was gonna be there, so she doesn't do the wrong time. And then so I was like, I can't make, like, I gotta sleep in the airport in Fuzhou or something. She's like, well, I will get you a hotel, and or I'll try to get you a hotel near Fuzhou airport. So I was like, okay, cool. So then they brought out, the airport security brought out snacks, like this cart of like sandwiches and stuff, because we got screwed over and we're gonna be like, some people, like, I had to sleep. I just slept at the airport. I'm like, I'm not gonna bother with hotels and stuff because I don't have any more American money at this point. So I was like, they brought some fleece blankets out, and anyway, they brought this cart of food out, and man, dude, the Asians descended on it like locusts. They destroyed it. Like they almost like ran over the person bringing the cart, and he's trying to tell him like, whoa, back off, like one at a time, slow down. And it's like, just take one thing, like one soda, one sandwich, one chip, like per person. Like, no, man, armfuls. They destroyed it. Like I didn't even get it because I was talking at that point. I was talking to the lady at the desk trying to rebook my stuff, so I didn't even get anything. And then like about 2 hours later, they brought out another cart, and that one also got destroyed. Luckily, I was able to get some food out of that one. But like, there's this little old Asian woman who just like was like elbowing people out of the way, man. It was crazy. Like they destroyed that thing. So I had some food, and I just slept as best as I could at the airport. Because at this point, it was like my flight was going to leave at 11:30 a.m. the next morning. So I had 10, 11 hours, well, like 9 or 10 hours just to chill at the airport. So I tried to sleep as best I could. I after finally getting food and like getting my stuff rebooked, it was like 2 in the morning, kind of 2:30. I lay down and tried to sleep. I'd sleep maybe like 20 minutes on, and then like I kept going in and out. It's like 20 minutes sleep, and then I'd be up for like 20 minutes. 20 minutes sleep, I'm up for 10 minutes. But then the airport, it's a big airport. It's LAX. So it gets busy. Started getting busy at like 5, 6 a.m. So I only got to sleep for like maybe an hour or two. So anyway, I make it through that, get my bags, go to the new flight place. That goes off without a hitch. Luckily, it was just a 14-hour, 15-hour flight, which I was already like dead. Um, so, and I was like dirty and it smelled bad and was, sleeping in an airport and had been wearing the same clothes for like 16 hours or something. So of course I sit next to a cute Asian girl. Uh, she's probably like 20 something, and we talked a little bit, but she slept most of the time. I tried to sleep most of the time, but again, it was like I was out for 10 minutes. Okay, I can't sleep sitting upright unless I'm like dead tired. So I'd sleep for like 20 minutes, be up for an hour, sleep for 10 minutes, be up for 20 minutes. So yeah, I didn't sleep very well on the flight. Um, and so yeah, and then I read, and it was pretty like the first 4 hours were pretty bad. Because I would like 4 hours go by and then I'd be like, oh my god, I still have 10 hours on this plane. So that was pretty bad. But then we finally landed in Shanghai. Uh, I had a 4 hour layover in Shanghai, which wasn't too bad because I had to go through immigration. That took a little bit, and then I went and got food, and then I got if you were a customer, you could scan your airplane ticket and get a Wi-Fi password. They just don't have free Wi-Fi, I guess. So you have to actually do some work to. Well, they have free Wi-Fi, but you have to do some work to get it. So I went and scanned my passport and stuff and got this little username and login. Got online because at this point my phone doesn't work because I'm in China now. My phone doesn't work, and so I can't get. And they block Google and Gmail. So I have my iPad, but I can't get on Gmail, so I can't email my liaison. But I have on WeChat. There's like their WeChat's the Chinese like messaging system. It's kind of like Kakao Talk, the Korean messaging system is Kakao Talk. WeChat is the Chinese one. Anyway, I have her on WeChat, so that's the only way I can communicate with her. So I'm talking to her like I'm in Shanghai. It's like 7 p.m. local time. I'm gonna leave for Fuzhou in like 2 hours. And she's like, okay, I got you a hotel. I will send like when you get to Fuzhou, call me, and then I will call the hotel, and then we'll send a driver to pick you up. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And it was pretty cheap. It was only like 188 yuan, which is um, the conversion rate is about 6.6 per dollar. So I think about 70 yuan is about $6. Um, so yeah, it was like $20 or something, $30. Not too bad, especially for being near an airport and on limited time, limited notice. Anyway, point is, she's like, call me, and I'll send them over, and you'll have a thing, you have a hotel for the night. I'm like, yes. So I get to Fuzhou, which is like an hour flight, and on that flight, I finally like passed out. Like I slept most of that flight. I slept for like 50 minutes probably, and luckily I sat by myself, and I think I actually like it was the same style plane, and somebody in my original seat they wanted to sit next to their friend, so I switched seats with them, and I'm pretty sure I sat in the exact same seat I sat in on the same style plane for the flight over, the 15-hour flight over. So that was kind of weird. But anyway, I make it to Fuzhou, I'll get my bags. I'm trying to get on the Wi-Fi to tell Cindy, my liaison's name is Cindy, like I'm here, what do I do now? And I couldn't get on the Wi-Fi, and I go to the question desk, the help desk, and basically I'm like, how do I get on the Wi-Fi? And she's like, oh, you have to have like. Basically, she said, I'm pretty sure she said you have to be a Chinese national citizen. And I was like, I can't get on the Wi-Fi. And she's like, no. I was like, well, I was like, what the fuck? Like that's stupid. Like, what am I gonna do? So, luckily, I had Cindy's number, um, and her Chinese number. So I was like, well, can I borrow your phone and call my friend? I need to call this person. I think it's important. And she's like, okay. So I call, and Cindy's like, all right, I'm going to call them and send them over. Just wait outside gate 6. So I go outside gate 6, and I'm waiting. And I'm starting to get nervous because it's been a while, because the hotel's supposed to be close. And it's been a while, and no one's come up. and I was gonna walk back in and try and call Cindy again, but like, no, just stay here. And then finally, some guy came up, and he showed us like Cindy sent him a picture of me, so he could recognize. And he, that's my phone. Sorry. He's like showing me the picture, and like, yep, that's me. And throw my bags into the back of his truck or his car. And the reason I think it took so long is because it was like a multi-person taxi. Like he's picking up 3 other people, which are all going to this hotel. So I was the last person to pick up. And anyway, we get in, we go to the hotel. It's fine. It's great. I shower, and I just lay down and pass out and sleep. And it was the best sleep I ever had. And then next morning I wake up. I tell Cindy, hey, because I had Wi-Fi there. I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave now. And she's like, all right, I'll tell them you want to go back to the hotel or to the airport. So I go back to the airport. They drop me off. I go over to the ticket booth, and I'm trying to fumble my way through to buy a bus ticket to Fuan. And I get that, and I go outside, and I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm asking people, it's like, is this Fuan bus? And they're like, this guy was like, I don't know why he couldn't just say yes or no or like show me where the bus was. He just started talking to me and like pointing, and I'm like, dude, just say yes or just shake your head yes or no. Like, is this the Fuan bus? If it's not, show me where it will be or where it is. And then luckily, like, I think they told the driver that the foreigner was gonna be on it, because eventually the driver comes up. He's like, come on over here, and like yelling at me, and like, of course not in English, but and like he's like pointing at this small bus. I'm like, okay. So I get on the bus, and then there's like 2 other dudes on it, like young dudes. And so I'm like, is this Fuan? And he's like, yeah. And then I was like, can I call? He's like, can I use your phone to call my friend? And he's like, okay. So I call Cindy. I'm like, because since she didn't have to end up coming all the way to Fuzhou to get me, she was going to meet me at the bus station there. But still, she has to know when I'm leaving. So I call her. I'm like, all right, we're leaving right now. We'll be there in about 3 hours. And she's like, okay. And then that was it. I had a 3-hour bus ride all the way to Fuan. Got to Fuan. Met Cindy at the bus stop. Took a taxi to my apartment. There was a little mess up where she didn't have the key. Like, she had lost the key to my apartment, so I had to wait in her apartment until she got a new key, and that took about an hour. But then finally, I was in my apartment, and it was like at this point it was like 10 or 1 or 2 1 or 2 p.m. local time. So I was finally in my apartment, and I just kind of chilled and rested, and that was it. And that was my journey. So it was a crazy trip. Probably the worst trip that I've ever been on, but a good story in the long run. Nothing too crazy, There weren't any like murders or explosions or anything crazy like that. Just a lot of inconvenience, but we got through it. We persevered. So that's it. And then I've just been I'm wrapping up my first week of teaching, and the next video will be about that, my apartment, the surrounding city, how it is, the teaching job, all that stuff. That's another whole video. So all right, guys, that was my trip. I hope you liked it, because I didn't. I hope you never have to go through that. And as always, everybody back home, love you, miss you, and everybody else all over the world, Korea, Canada, all those places, love you guys too, and I will be back. Bye.